Hey everyone! Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about my April wrap-up. April was a great reading month for me. I read 15 books. Somebody's riding their freaking lawnmower outside. Anyways, April was a great reading month because I read 15 books. And that's a good number for me because there's years that I didn't even read 2 books. So working from home helped a lot because I was able to listen to audiobooks. So let's get into it. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because that's 15 books and y'all don't want to be here for, 3 hours. So first of all, I read The Kiss of Deception and Heart of Betrayal, which are the first and second book in, I believe it's a trilogy. I didn't get to the third one, but I gave them 4 stars. I listened to them on audiobook. They're YA, but I felt they were really well done for YA. There was a lot of intricacies with the stories. It's basically a girl who's supposed to get married off to make things better with the kingdom, like a political thing, and she's like, I don't want to do this, and she runs away, and there's a thief trying to get after her, and the prince that she never met was supposed to marry, and we don't know who's who, and shenanigans. But I actually really enjoyed them. Yeah, I gave them each 4 stars. I would like to read the last one on audiobook at some point, just to kind of see where the series ends up. Next, I read A Darker Shade of Magic. This was a reread for me because I want to get to the entire series. I read it originally, I think it was last year or the year before. Time flies. And I didn't get to A Gathering of Shadows or A Conjuring of Light, and I was like, well, I need to reread this so that I know what's going on. And I'm glad I did because I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about some of these things. So I need to read those next 2 soon so I don't forget again. I also gave A Darker Shade of Magic 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I heard that because I felt the world building wasn't wasn't all that jazz. But I've heard that in the next 2 books that she really, V.E. Schwab really fleshes out the world. So I want to know more because I was like, what else? What else is happening in these 4 parallel Londons? I need to know. Next up, Perks of Being a Wallflower. I didn't really like this one. Apparently I gave it a 3 stars on Goodreads, but I don't know. I talked about it in one of my popular books that I hated series, and I don't really know. It just felt like this kid was getting himself into too many things and needed to find his voice basically, and no means no, Then Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, obviously a reread. I enjoyed it even more. Rereading the books is so great because I find a lot of people, we forget about the extra stuff that's in the books, like peeves and just all these extra little things because we're so used to the movies. So rereading the books is just so special. Who doesn't love Harry Potter? Then this was a short one, but I listened to it on audiobook. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. It was also pretty good. It was just a little novella. It was pretty good. Just a little novella, so there wasn't the whole, we already know the characters, whatever. It was fine. 3 stars. This one was on my TBR for a long time, and I listened to it on audiobook, and it was alright. I gave it 3 stars, and that's The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which is basically our main character who, I'm pretty sure he's bisexual. Him and his boyfriend go on this adventure and throughout the land and get into shenanigans, and there's trouble, and he's basically supposed to be more grown up and he's kind of not, and so this is kind of a coming of age story for him. Then I read I Hunt Killers, and I was so excited for this one because the description sounded really good. It's basically our main character whose father is in jail, and he is a famous serial killer. He killed hundreds of people, and so we're following his son who's in high school, and he wants to start hunting serial killers because his dad basically told him all of his secrets. So he knows how to do stuff, and someone starts kind of copycatting his dad's murders, and so he's like, I'm an expert on what's going on, and starts getting involved, and he kind of gets in over his head basically. And I gave that one 3 stars as well. It wasn't as good as I was hoping. I really, really wanted it to be more. But it's also YA, so I don't know if it was just that or if it was me, but Anyway, it was good though. Then I reread some of my favorite books from my teen years, and that is some of the books from the Sweep series by Kate Tiernan. I still love these. I gave them all 4 stars. It's basically a girl named Morgan. Some new guy comes to school named Cal, and he's like this gorgeous god man. And he's like, I'm into Wicca, and like, let's start a circle. And all of a sudden Morgan's like, starts doing this, and she's like, I'm super powerful. Like, this is crazy. And things start unfolding in her life. And it's just teen, feel good YA. When I read them in my teen years, I was going through so many of the same things that Morgan was. So I really connected with her and just connected with the books. And so they're just really nostalgic for me to reread, and I love them so much. Next, I read Scythe, and it was so good, and I waited way too long to read it, but it was, what a ride. What a ride. So it's basically dystopian, and the human race is now immortal. There's nobody dies there's no like sickness or whatever. You just don't die anymore. So they have to have people called Scythes they go around and they kill people. They're like the only people that are like ordained to kill people. And we have 2 main characters, Citra and Rowan, and they are Scythe's apprentices and go through learning about how to be a Scythe. And it's just such an interesting dynamic of like mortality and ethics, and 5 stars for Scythe. Then I read Wondersmith, which is the second book to the Morgan Crow Chronicles, second of Nevermore, the thing. And it was really cute. It's middle grade, but it's very just like whimsical and easy to read and cute, and it's fun, and there's adventures, and it's like Morgan and her friends from school, and bad things are happening, and they're getting into trouble, and they're trying to figure things out, and it's just really cute, and I enjoyed it a lot. Then I tried to listen to These Witches Don't Burn on audiobook, which I really wanted to love, but just didn't connect with me. I tried it, and then, so I stopped reading it, and then I tried it again same month, and I just was like, I'm not really getting, I don't know. So I ended up DNFing it, unfortunately. And the last book I read in April was Blood of Elves by that Polish fellow that wrote the Witcher books that I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just gonna say that. Or wait, is he Polish? Yeah. And I really enjoyed listening to that because I have played some of the Witcher games, watched the Witcher show, so it's just nice to kind of dive back into his world. It feels so real. It's such a fleshed out, just intricate, interesting world with so many different, there's like politics and magic and demon-y monsters and people, and y'all know how I love fantasy, so it was really good. Definitely 4 stars for Blood of Elves. So this wrap-up was a little bit late, and that's how life goes, Nothing's really ever on time, is it? So thanks to my allergies, I was basically not feeling so hot. But anyways, better late than never, Next week I'll be talking about my June TBR, but here we are, April's wrap-up. And that's the tea. So thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure. Be sure to give a like and a comment and subscribe so we can be friends and you can watch more of my videos. Okay, bye.